2 days before the Albion Park show, so I was gonna air up the Bullet, give it a wash. Had a bit of a walk around and I found this disaster. What's going on here? Something's failed. That's front diff oil in that bead-locked wheel. So we're gonna have to investigate this. Here I was thinking I'd come away unscathed from that last run. Now with that bad news, we have a little bit of good news. Delivery from Toowoomba. Tony and Ross from Shires Fabrication. They've kindly donated us the brackets we need for the IFS steering box onto the chassis. And we've also got a couple of spacers and a whole bag of bolts. Now what we're going to do with this is stick the IFS front hubs on the LM106 front housing. Seems now that I have to take that front end apart in any case. I may as well fit these up. We'll do a little install video. Luckily the other day too, while I was at Brian's, I pre-packed the IFS hubs while Brian was working on the diff. I normally use an old race. You've seen me do it. I've got a grinder cut in it, but look at this. Much easier hitting surface, and there's another reason why. What is it?
So it's made of old bearings, but they've been heat treated to take the hardness out of them, so they won't shatter, they won't smash.
And you get a lot more hitting surface. So with a second race, it's still, but there, that's awesome.
Yeah, so they're designed to go in the press, so you can just put one on each side and just do the whole lot.
And then the front, he's got this one made up for the front.
Maybe do one with the hammer, and we'll put one in the press and just slide them all in one go.
I don't want to take away from the main job, the main game. Today seems to have turned out to be Sydney's coldest day. So what we might do is we'll just shut the door, shut this door, set ourselves up in here and do a bit of prep work for what's ahead of us to get Bullet Truck ready for the show. So what we've got is we've got two spacers designed by Tony and Ross at Shires Fabrication. So you get the spacers and you get all the bolts. So no stranger to Toyotas, we'll work this out. The IFS hubs, this is basically a setup to throw away your spacers if you're just running your standard leaf sprung front. So what we're going to gain from a standard LM106 hub to an IFS hub is around 40 mil. So we'll start bolting this up together, and then I've got one of Bullet's spare hubs there with a 50 mil spacer to do a bit of a comparison. So not only do I have to have this, spot on for how we're running now, but in 6 months' time when we put the 80 series rear in, I'm probably going to have to end up bolting a spacer to this to marry up with the 80 rear. We'll start bolting it together. Okay, so we've got the pre-packed hub. What we've got here is a 34 mil spacer with the various holes in it. So what I'm going to go and do, I'm going to go and assume that the countersunk ones will line up with the hub. And then when we go to the packet of bolts, so we've got two spacers. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 12 of these. So I'm assuming that these bolts here, these hex head bolts, are going to bolt the spacer to the hub. Right, so these just screw in. Yep, so we got that right. Now we did this conversion years ago on a couple of trucks, the IFS hub, and what we did, we worked out that we needed a 60 series rotor to go over the face of the hub rather than the way we're doing it now, and then we had to work out what kind of caliper we needed. So in a comp, if you did do a hub, you had to remember all the things that you did. So the beauty with the setup that Tony's come up with is that we're running an LM106 rotor and hub. And on the side of the track, you could potentially have the spare IFS hub and just do what I'm doing now, but on the side of the track. In our case, we'll always have the spare hub there with the 50 mil spacer on it. But the beauty of this kit, believe me, is that you just stick with the LM106. You're not mucking around with calipers, you're not mucking around with rotors. So we'll nip these up and then we'll work on bolting the rotor to the spacer, which is bolted to the hub. So with the IFS front hubs, the rotor is bolted in through the back with those 6 threaded bolts. The LM106 is different. The LM106 bolts from behind with two. They've got two 10mm holes there that two bolts come through into the hub. So this is a very strong way of building out that thickness. Next move, you grab the hub. We've got our two rotors on the bench. We're just going to sit them inside the space. And then basically what we're going to do using the rest of the bolts is bolt up through the bottom. And that's basically your setup. That's your hub with the rotor on it, ready to throw on the truck. Amazing. Looking in from the back, you've got your 6 main bolts, and then you've got your 2 that were the original. So these ones here, they're going back through what would have been your wheel stud, and then these 2 here are the original ones that bolt to the hub. He's gone basically the biggest bolt he could with a decent sized head, but still enough room to get a socket in there to be able to do them up. So he's gone for strength, and I tell you what, I think this is going to be stronger than the factory setup. Oh, I've bought products before that have claimed to be bolt-on, but Tony's Shire Fabrications got it spot on. No grinders laying around here. What we're going to do is, I've got the conventional LM106 hub with a 50mm spacer on it, and now I've got the conventional IFS hub with Tony's spacer on it and an LM106 rotor. So what we'll do is we're going to measure. So we've got a tad under 100mm, so that's 98mm from the face of that rotor to where the edge of that spacer is. So with the IFS one, we've got 82mm. So this one's lower by 18mm, but I've got a 50mm spacer on that. So you're gaining around the 30 odd mil with this setup. So at the moment, we're still about 18mm no better on what we were with what we're running, but it's a comp truck. So I'd be happy enough to put these on the 4Runner and throw the 40mm spacers away, which is what I probably will do. But with the comp truck, I am now going to put a 40mm spacer on this hub when I bolt it all back up. I'm trying to get it as close to the rear of an 80 as I can. But for most other people that are running, you know, a 40mm spacer, that's 100mm with a 50, and that's 82 with nothing. So there's no wheel spacer on that. I know you're saying, well, there's a spacer there, but it's not really a spacer. It's not from this point forward. This is the beauty with the IFS hub. It always has been. It was always a wide track solution. People run the IFS rear housing with their longer springs, and then they were throwing the 50mm spacers on the front. Throw the 50mm spacers away. Give Tony Shire's Fabrication a buzz. Look them up. Buy these. These are a product that's just taken me 20 minutes to do all this. I'd like to thank them. They put their hand out to help us out with a steering box bracket. I found out they do these. He helped me out with these as well. So this is the good stuff. Next video from me will be actually repairing Bullet Truck, fixing that oil seal that we saw, getting these on there. I may as well do it now. I've got to get in there to pull the CV out to put the seal in any case. We've got an event in less than 2 days. So we'll whack these in now that I've got them together. And as always, thanks for watching.